President Trump has made controversial claims by asserting that Ukraine, not Russia, sparked the conflict and has labeled Ukrainian President Zelenskyy as authoritarian. This marked a dramatic departure from traditional U.S. stance, signaling an emerging realignment in American foreign policy that veers away from long-standing support for Kyiv. Recent policy changes under Trump have included a temporary pause in military aid to Ukraine and the suspension of offensive cyber operations against Russia. These decisions, along with the cancellation of asset seizure initiatives against Russian oligarchs, represent a significant shift in how the U.S. approaches its relationship with Moscow and its strategic priorities in the region. A notable development was a high-tension meeting between Trump and Zelenskyy in the Oval Office, which publicly underscored the growing rift between the two leaders and raised concerns about the future of U.S. support for Ukraine. This encounter has not only unsettled European allies, but also highlighted a broader reassessment of American involvement in the conflict, further complicating the situation. Senior officials embarked on a diplomatic mission to Saudi Arabia to initiate peace talks with Russia, notably excluding Ukrainian representatives. This move reinforces the administration's shift in focus and a willingness to negotiate directly with Moscow, reflecting a broader reconsideration of America's traditional alliances. Domestically, the administration's policies have drawn sharp criticism from Democrats and anti-Trump Republicans, who argue that abandoning Ukraine risks undermining decades of a unified approach to counter Russian aggression. Meanwhile, a partisan divide persists, with polls showing a stark contrast in support for Ukraine between Democrats and Republicans, signaling deep-rooted differences in opinion on U.S. foreign policy. President Trump's policy shift is generating widespread debate both at home and abroad, as experts and political figures grapple with its long-term implications for global stability. Critics warn that this departure from traditional U.S. alliances could weaken established deterrence against Russian expansionism, while supporters argue that recalibrating relations with Moscow might lead to a more pragmatic and less confrontational international landscape. This evolving approach continues to fuel political polarization and uncertainty about America's strategic priorities, prompting calls from various quarters for a careful reassessment of its future foreign policy direction.